So we're here at the end of the day, concluding the first day of the Global Methane, Climate and Clean Air Forum here in Washington, D.C. I'm joined by this distinguished panel of participants and leaders in the Climate and Clean Air Coalition. We'd like each of them to give us a short message on the key takeaway in their expert opinion from the discussions and panels today. Drew.
Well, today's theme was the need for fast action and a call to really take fast action. I think that was really what was brought home to me was how aggressive our actions need to be. And the Special Presidential Envoy for Climate, John Kerry, started off by commenting how our new CCAC baseline emissions report shows that without further action, we're actually going in the wrong direction, and quite steeply that emissions are projected to keep going. So the challenge before us is really enormous. But at the same time, then as we get into the sessions and people start talking about what's going on, there's this whole ferment of activity down at the national level and at the level of NGOs and at the level of partners and non-partners within the CCAC. So I think there's both this sense of what an enormous challenge it is, and at the same time a sense of optimism that with enough effort coming in from the ground up, we might actually meet this challenge.
Okay, yeah, I'd very much agree with Drew on what he said. I think I also felt that there was a great opportunity as well. That, you know, we have the chance, if we make these emission reductions, to actually stay within that 1.5 degrees C, which has seemed increasingly far removed over the past couple of years. And as Drew says, as we sort of went into some of the later sessions today, we really did start to see from the particular countries who are putting in their national action plans the massive effort that they're putting into that, and the likelihood that they could, if those are achieved, actually reach that target. I think for me, it started to be quite interesting understanding what were perhaps some of the more difficult sectors to look at, and I think agriculture maybe came out as one of the more difficult ones. Something that perhaps within the CCAC we need to think about a little bit more in terms of what kind of support we could put to that sector.
The need for speed was the message today, and I thought Tom Cruise was going to show up with his Top Gun movie to tell us why we needed to move even faster than we have been. I thought it was a great day for the CCAC. So this coalition has done more for the planet than any other group, and our assignment for the future, literally, is cutting the rate of climate warming in half and cutting the rate of Arctic warming by 2/3. So I hope that the participants, including those with money, put more money into the CCAC.
I think that's a really good statement to build off on. And I thought it was amazing to see how much alignment there was between the scientists bringing a really, really strong message of how serious the effort has to be to reverse the trend. We're on the wrong side at the moment. And at the same time, the policymakers having an equally very firm stand on this and having grasped the urgency of action. And the power of partnership, I think, came out very clearly as well by having so many like-minded people in the room. And I think we need all hands on deck. And I think everybody has responded present to this challenge that we have at our hands to make sure that what we've seen at COP26 as the methane moment, to turn that into a real momentum and get it done.
Okay. I fully agree with all what you were mentioning, with you even more on agriculture, but I was impressed perhaps more with the diversity of people in the room. Because we have policymakers, on high-level policymakers, we have a representative of countries, Minister John Kerry, we have a young lady of 23 years old, and we have scientists in the room, and all are really sharing the same message. We need to move now. We know it's complex, but we have no choice but to move. And perhaps this is, for me, the main message that we have to really to convene outside here, that it's time. And I guess the CCAC is really the place to do that, because it's bringing together government, all partners together, FAO, but other, and also private sector that are linked with all those governments. So this is really that partnership, that coalition, that really is the last C of CCAC that is perhaps the most important, having a coalition of all actors together to address the problem.
Maybe something else that came out very clearly is that it's not only a climate issue, but it's a sustainable development issue, and obviously going even further into the direction that you mentioned, Robert, is it's an issue of survival in the end. But the sustainable development angle makes it so clear that it's catering, these actions that we're putting forward are catering for so many country priorities at home, that there are tons of arguments to take action and very few not to take.
So the CCAC is also key for food security. I mean, if we do not slow down the rate of climate change very, very quickly, we will face global famine. And so this institution has an incredible job ahead. Given their history, I think they're up for the task.
Yeah, I mean, we were just talking about the threats that are facing agriculture and food security in the coming years, and I think that's where this is really exciting, actually, because again, the opportunity that you could have in terms of taking action to actually reduce the crop yield losses that we're seeing just by taking ozone out of the atmosphere, that will also help in terms of regional climate change as well. There are big opportunities there. I think we do need to understand them a little bit better, but that's what the CCAC is about, so that would be really exciting to work on more in the future.
I think Lisa also raised some interesting points this morning about how the ozone not only affects crops, but it affects the carbon cycle. And so it just reinforces this whole idea that we're pushing for this massive action and accelerated implementation of methane reductions, but it really interrelates so closely with our efforts to decarbonize. And it not only doesn't compete with them, it really actually helps those move along at the same time. We need to change the way we use land, which just goes back to the food security issue, to have adequate space for afforestation, which compensates for difficult to decarbonize sectors. There's so many positive linkages here, and I saw that come out a lot today.
So the major theme of today was a call for fast climate action. You've heard here, even this group, we can't help but to link to the other development benefits leading into tomorrow, another exciting day where the lead theme is putting development into the lead, food security, health, and poverty alleviation benefits. We've already talked about quite a few of the messages that we're going to want to see carrying over to tomorrow. It's going to be an exciting day, the second of 3 days of this forum, and look forward to, I think all of us look forward to the participation of this exciting and active coalition. It's got such a critical role to play in climate and development going forward.